this is attorney Elizabeth Potts-Weinstein, and today we're going to be talking about whether your Etsy or Amazon or eBay business should actually be an LLC. So if you're selling products on Amazon, on Etsy, on eBay, I'm going to assume that either you're selling products that you make yourself or you have manufactured, that you're reselling products, could be used or things that you buy wholesale, that you're doing drop shipping, or you're creating custom products. But for any of those kinds of businesses, one of the things that can happen is people form that kind of business as a side gig, and then they start making more sales, and then they're thinking, should I put more formality into this business? So let's get into that. First, if you have multiple owners of this business, then I'm going to highly recommend that you go ahead and form an LLC. I've done another video on the problem with having a business that is the default when you have multiple owners, which is a general partnership. There's a lot of risk there for what the other partners do. So I recommend in that case, you form an LLC. If you are legally married spouses, then sometimes you're kind of treated as one person anyway from like a tax perspective, and you're going to be somewhat liable for what the other person does anyway because you're legally married. So you may wait a little bit longer on the LLC, but otherwise I highly recommend forming an LLC when there's multiple owners. But let's say it's just one owner. Then when does it make sense to form an LLC? First, you need to look at your actual products that you're selling, the industry you're in, and what are the risks there? Because the idea of a LLC is that it's a limited liability company. It's reducing the risk because you are not personally liable for what happens in the business. Some businesses have more risk than others. So you need to look at that because setting up an LLC and everything takes a little bit of money, and there's some money in maintaining it. So when is it worth it? Look at your individual products that you're selling. Is there a risk of harm? Are you selling something that someone could be allergic to, where they could be injured by it? I mean, people can be injured by, someone's taking a pen and stabbing them through, but it's not going to necessarily be because of this particular product. But there are some products that someone could be allergic to, that they could be harmed by. What is the likelihood there? You can deal with some of that risk through insurance, but that can be expensive to fully insure that risk, and having an LLC is another way to protect yourself. You also want to look at your particular industry that you're in. People sue each other a lot. And are you creating products that are controversial, where someone might want to come after you because they think it's a derivative of their copyrights or something like that? Are you doing work that is controversial where someone could sue you for defamation? Some of those things would be incredibly expensive to get insurance to cover. So it makes more sense to protect yourself by having an LLC. Similarly, are you going into debt in one way or another, where you need to protect yourself personally from the debts of the LLC? Maybe you have to go and get a loan to produce products. Maybe you get credit from whoever is shipping you the products and you don't have to pay them till later, but there's a huge amount of debt in the meanwhile where you're sitting on inventory and you haven't sold it. It can make a lot of sense to form an LLC to shield you from that liability, because even if you have a wonderful business idea and wonderful products, anything could happen to the world, the economy, whatever, that could radically affect your business. And you don't want to be personally liable for a huge amount of inventory or a lot of debt if something happens that is completely out of your control. So having an LLC is a way to shield you from that. The third reason you may want an LLC is for tax planning. So if you're a sole proprietor, then you just file everything about this business on your personal tax return on the Schedule C. And everything that you pay yourself is subject to self-employment tax. But if you have an LLC, you can have an LLC taxed as an S corporation, which I know sounds bizarre, but this is a way you can do some interesting tax planning. So you pay yourself partly a salary that has self-employment tax part of it. You also pay yourself a distribution, which just has income tax. Typically, it doesn't make sense to do this when you're just starting out. You're going to need to do more sophisticated tax planning. You can really take advantage of it when you're making maybe high five figures, somewhere around there. You want to talk to whoever's doing your taxes and have them run the numbers, and it's for your specific situation, to see when it makes sense to form an LLC if you're doing it purely for the tax planning. Again, this is attorney Elizabeth Potts Weinstein. If you have any questions about whether forming an LLC is right for you, feel free to ask them below in the comments and I'll try to point you in the right direction. Thumbs up if you found this video helpful, subscribe if you'd like more videos like this, and join if you'd like to support the channel so I can make more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.